Okay, this is my Pink Floyd vinyl collection. I've had a few people ask to see what I had and make a quick video, and I've seen them before on YouTube, so I thought I'd make one. I started my collection last summer, and as you can see, I've amassed a pretty good selection here. So the first one is obviously the first Pink Floyd album with Syd Barrett. This is Piper at the Gates of Dawn. It is a British pressing, British first pressing. Pretty happy with that one. Second one is Saucer Full of Secrets. This one took me forever to find. It's hard to find one of these. It's even harder to find one in decent condition. This one's a little bit beat up. It's on the Tower label, which is pretty hard to find. Then we have A Nice Pair, which is the first two albums re-released. It's kind of a band cover for a couple different reasons. If you're a Pink Floyd fan, you know why. Here's the soundtrack from the movie More. I've never seen the movie. I've heard it's kind of weird. Pink Floyd did a lot of movie soundtracks. This is a British first pressing. Another movie soundtrack. This is Obscured by Clouds, or The Valley. This is a British first pressing. It's somewhat rare because of the rounded corners, and it's textured, which makes it a little more rare. By contrast, the US version looks like this. See the squared versus the rounded corners. So that's the British pressing. I've got a couple of US pressings here. Here's Umaguma, probably my least favorite Pink Floyd album, but I have 3 copies. I've got one really good one where somebody put their name all over it, and then one sort of decent one. Here's Metal, or I'm sorry, this is Adam Hart Mother. This is US pressing without the name on the cover. Then here it is with the name on the cover. And then the jewel of the collection, the original master recording of Adam Hart Mother, still sealed, never been opened. Here's Metal. That's the US pressing. Here's Metal. This is a French pressing. Here's the British pressing, and it's got the textured cover, a little bit more rare. Dark Side of the Moon, original master recording. Sounds really good. Here's the Dark Side of the Moon 2011 reissue. Dark Side of the Moon picture disc, which is pretty neat. You can see it's got the famous pyramid or triangle on it. A couple of first issues. It's got the posters and the stickers in it. There's a Japanese pressing. That's a pretty neat edition. Still got the Japanese, they call it an OBI strip. I really like that one. Here's a bootleg version of Dark Side of the Moon on gold vinyl. Kind of weird. It's kind of more of a novelty. Wish You Were Here. Here's the half-speed master. Fairly rare. Here's a copy from Holland that I just got. Wish You Were Here. It's kind of a beat-up sleeve, but the neat thing about it is it's on blue vinyl. Very cool. So here is Wish You Were Here, still in the original shrink wrap. The record company made him put a sticker on the shrink wrap because they didn't think customers would know what the album was. So it's kind of hard to find copies still in the shrink wrap, so that one's pretty rare. Wish You Were Here 2011 reissue. There's Animals, probably right now probably my favorite Pink Floyd album. There's The Wall, the epic, the classic. Everyone knows that one. The Final Cut. I like the Final Cut. A lot of people don't like it. They consider it a Roger Waters solo album. It's got a couple of good tracks on there. Not Now John is probably one of my favorites. Here is A Momentary Lapse of Reason. This is a post-Roger Waters album. A lot of true Pink Floyd fans don't like it. I like it. That's the last studio album that I have. I don't have the Division Bell. That one's just about impossible to find, and when you do, it's very expensive. So I've still got my eye out on it. Here's Relics. Someone put a price tag on there. I guess sold it at a garage sale at one time. It's a compilation album. Different version of Relics. This one is a British pressing. Kind of neat. Masters of Rock. Another compilation. Pink Floyd Works. That's a pretty cool compilation. It's got Embryo on it, which was never released on an album. Delicate Sound of Thunder. That's a live album. Post Roger Waters. A lot of people are familiar with that one. I've got 2 copies of that. Here's a Russian version. Just kind of neat. The label, you can see that is in Russian. Pretty neat. And let's see, where are we now? Here is a collection of great dance songs. Here's the bootlegs. This is Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast. Has the only known performance, live performance of Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast off of Adam Hart Mother. This one's neat because it is yellow vinyl. This is And the Walls Came Down. It's a Wall era bootleg. They do the entire album, I believe, in New Jersey. Pretty neat. Here's a bootleg from Los Angeles, 1987. More Pink Floyd. This is demos and outtakes. It's kind of neat. Another blue vinyl album. Dark Side of the Moo. A bunch of unreleased tracks. Studio rare dozen, featuring a dozen rare and unreleased studio tracks. That's another bootleg. The Whole Hog. This is a bootleg of a concert in Texas. Zabriskie Point, another soundtrack. This one has some Pink Floyd songs that aren't on anything else, plus some Grateful Dead stuff, but it's a Pink Floyd that makes that one rare. The Committee, another soundtrack. This movie was never released, so the soundtrack is pretty rare, and it's on white vinyl. And The New Spirit of Capital, which is just a compilation. It's got some old original Bob Seger stuff on it. Linda Ronstadt, Steve Miller Band. It's got 1 Pink Floyd track on it. So that's the collection. I'm still going strong, still looking, still scouring. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like the video, let me know. And go Pink Floyd.